Welcome all of you. I, Dr. Ahmad Musa Khan, Assistant Professor in the Department of Commerce, Aligarh Muslim University. Let's start our, let's continue our journey of the topic that is innovation. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about various types of innovation, about certain models of innovation, and about the chronological development of the models of innovation, that how these models have been developed so far. Let's start with different types of innovations. Industrial innovation not only includes, that is, the major innovations, but also minor technological advances. Major innovations we call radical innovations. It is about to develop something which did not exist earlier. And minor innovations, as like incremental, it is about to include certain features or certain technological features. Indeed, the definition offered above suggests that successful commercialization of the innovation may involve considerably wider organizational changes. Product innovations are soon followed by process innovations in what they describe as an industry innovation cycle. It is common to associate innovation with physical change only, but many changes introduced within organizations involve very little physical change. Product innovation, it's the development of a new or improved product. Process innovation, it is about how you are developing this product. It is about the manufacturing process. Organizational innovation, a new venture division, something, new internal communication system, introduction of a new procedure, whatever is going on within the business organization. Now, management innovation, you must have heard the term total quality management systems or business process reengineering. It is all about that how you are doing the management in the organization and whatever innovation you are making in the management systems, which eventually will help you to get the competitive advantage, because the basic objective of innovation is to help in getting the competitive advantage in the market. Production innovation it is about the quality circles or just-in-time manufacturing system, like new production planning softwares. The next is commercial marketing innovation. It is about new financing arrangement, new sales approach. Sometimes they start direct marketing. They start removing the marketing intermediaries, connecting their customers directly. So it is just about that. Service innovation means, just take an example of internet-based financial services. It is the service innovation. Now let's discuss the various models of innovation. Traditional arguments about innovation have centered around two schools of thought. One is about the social deterministic school, which argues that innovation were the result of a combination of external social factors, and it influences the demographic changes, economic influences, and cultural changes. The argument was that when the conditions were right, innovations would occur. So it is basically about the conditions only, that whether it is feasible for the organization, the innovation will takes place, or whenever these social factors are feasible and conducive, innovation would takes place. But the other approach was totally different. It was not about the social factors, it was the individualistic things. This is called the individualistic school, and it argues that innovation were the result of unique individual talent and not the external factor. That's why it states that innovators are born. Now, between this debate, a big question arises. What actually drives innovation? It has tended divided into two schools of thought: the market-based view and the resource-based view. Market-based view argues that market conditions provide the context which facilitate or constrain the extent of firm innovative activities. It is actually the extension of what we just discussed. Few firms have the ability to scan and search their environments to recognize the opportunities. While the resource-based view of innovation, it considered that firms' own resources provide a much more stable context in which to develop its innovation activities and shape its markets in accordance to its own view. When firms have resources that are valuable, rare, and not easily copied, they can achieve a sustainable competitive advantage, frequently in the form of innovative new products. This is actually a ongoing debate that whether the external factors are more important or the individual's capabilities. Serendipity. It is quite common. This word is very common nowadays. This is also one of the model of innovation, because many studies of historical cases of innovations have highlighted the importance of an unexpected discovery. You must remember that we all have seen this cartoon in which a scientist was just coming out from his bathroom, and he was just taking the shower, and he was just totally nude, and he was just shouting a word, "Eureka, Eureka." It was something that the matter of luck. He was just taking the shower and got the idea. This is the role of serendipity or luck in explanation the concept of innovation. Because after all, it's everyone's dream that they will accidentally uncover a major new invention leading to fame and fortune. Don't you want that? I also want that. In order to do something, or in order to do some kind of innovation, one would need to have some prior knowledge in that area. Most discoveries are the result of people who have had a fascination with a particular area of science or technology, and it is following extended efforts on their part that advances are made. Discoveries may not be expected, but in the words of Louis Pasteur, that chances favor the prepared mind. It is not like that you are just sitting and you got the idea. Even the example I discussed you, in which the scientist was taking the shower, he was the scientist. His mind was prepared and he was continuously thinking about this. That's why he got the idea. It is not like that some Tom, Dick and Harry is sitting under the tree and just looking at the sky and he got the idea. It is not like that. To get the idea, you must have to prepare yourself. You must be capable enough so that your brain will get the flight of ideas. Now let's discuss the linear model. It is the explanation of the interaction of the following activities. What are the activities? Basically, it is about the science and technology base. It is about the technological developments and the needs of the market, and it states that they all are interrelated. The science base, it is basically dominated by universities and industries. They have the laboratories, they are doing the innovations kind of experiments. The technological development, this is dominated by the industry because they are trying to take the prototype into the market, and definitely you need the market. The innovation process has traditionally been viewed as a sequence of separable stages or activities, and we have divided it into three different activities. And there are two basic models or basic variation of this model of product innovation. In one, we can say that it is the technology push, and another one is market pull. Technology push means in which you are developing something or innovating something because you have developed the technology, and that technology is pushing you towards the development of the product. But in the other hand, you are developing something because your customers need that. You have realized the need of the customers, then you are trying to develop something to fulfill that gap or to give a resolution towards the needs of the customers. We can see it here that in technology push, the research and development is at the first position. After developing something, you start manufacturing it and then you start marketing it. But the situation is totally changed in the market pull matter. In the market pull model, in which at the first stage you are doing the marketing, that is, you have done at the third stage. After doing the marketing, now you are doing the research and development. So in it, research and development is at the second stage, which was the first position in technology push model. and at last you are doing the manufacturing, and manufacturing you were doing at the second step in the technology push. So this is basically the difference between the technology push and market pull models of innovation. Now let's discuss them in detail. It is a Now let's discuss them in detail, and started with technology push model of innovation. It is actually very important for you to understand at this stage that these are the two different models of innovation, mainly technology push and market pull, and they come in category of linear models, because linear means they all are have a very linear relationships. You will realize the difference between linear and non-linear models in the coming slides. So let's start with the technology push model of innovation. It is assumed that scientists made unexpected discoveries. Technologists applied them to develop product ideas, and engineers and designers turned them into prototypes for testing. It is left to manufacturing to devise ways of producing and products efficiently. Finally, marketing and sales will promote the product to the potential consumers. In this model, the marketplace was a passive recipient of the fruits of research and development. While on the other hand, market pull model of innovation is something different. It emphasizes the role of marketing as an initiator of new ideas, which resulting from close interaction with customers. These interns are conveyed to research and development for design and engineering, and then to manufacturing for production. In fast-moving consumer good industries, we can say that the role of market and consumer remains powerful and very influential. That is why it emphasizes that whatever technology you are developing, it should be developed on the basis of the requirements of the customers. Now, simultaneous coupling model. This model actually challenges the views of previous model. It emphasizing that innovation is not linear but interactive, with multiple functions working together at the same time. It is the result of the simultaneous coupling of knowledge within all three functions that will foster innovations. And what are the three functions? This is the manufacturing, the marketing, and research and development. And in the linear model, in both market push and in both technology push and market pull, we had a very linear relationship between this manufacturing, marketing, and R&D. But now the situation has changed. They are interacting, like research and development is interacting with manufacturing along with marketing. Manufacturing has interacting with marketing along with this. So they all are, these three factors, they are interacting with each other. So basically, it's an interactive model. Interactive model of innovation describes innovation as non-linear, dynamic, and network-based process. It is non-linear because in linear model, while discussing the linear model, I told you that in the coming slides you will realize the difference between linear and non-linear models. And now it is clear before you that linear model, the very linear relationship between these three factors, but in non-linear models they have a non-linear relationship because they are just interacting with each other. There are multiple stakeholders like firms, universities, customers, government. They are collaborating with each other, exchanging knowledge continuously to creating new products, or sometimes they are trying to develop new processes. It develops the idea further and links together the technology push and market pull models. Like the coupling model, there is no explicit starting point. The use of information flows is used to explain how innovations transpire, and they can arise from wide variety of points. So this is how the interactive model is different from the simultaneous coupling model. Because in interactive models, there is no starting or ending point. They all are working together. They all are interacting with each other. You can see it very clearly that it is a linear relationship. This is the non-linear relationship. Everything is included in this model. Now, in how the interactive model is different from simultaneous coupling model. Because in simultaneous coupling model, I hope that you remember that in simultaneous coupling model, there was the integration of three key functions: production, marketing and research development. While in interactive model, it's a continuous interaction and feedback among multiple actors and stages. Interactive model systematic and network based. Interactive model is systematic and network based because it works inside and outside the firm, like universities, suppliers, government, while simultaneous coupling model is purely based on the internal factors, and we call it the internal functional coupling within the firm. That is primarily internal departments of a firm, they all are involved, like marketing, production and research and development. There is no one from the outside the organization is involved in this simultaneous coupling model. Now let's have a discussion, or let's have an overview about the chronological development of models of innovation. So it all started in the 1950s and 60s. The model was popular was technology push. It was a simple linear sequential process. It was emphasizing on research and development. Then they start developing their product and taking to the market, and whatever they were getting, whatever they were getting was the result of their innovation. But in 1970s, the market pull factor came into existence. In this market pull factor, they started knowing or started gathering the knowledge or started knowing the requirements of the consumers, and on the basis of those requirements, they started developing the product and then taking it to the market. So these technology push and market pull factor are altogether different from each other. In 1980s, this coupling model came into existence, which says that there should be non-linear relationship between these three factors. Factors will remain same. Up to 1980s and up to the entry of coupling model, the factors were remain same. They were internal factors: marketing, production and research and development. Coupling model just stated that there should be a non-linear relationship between these three factors. While interactive model, or with the introduction of interactive model in 1980s and 90s, this was a combination of push and pull factors. It stated that there should be a linear as well as the non-linear relationship between various variables or between all three factors. Finally, in 2000, the network model came into existence, which removed all the barriers and it emphasis on the knowledge accumulation and external linkages. So this picture actually got the final framework with the beginning of 2000 and with the introduction of this network model. Now let's wind up this lecture, but before winding up this lecture, we shall have an overview about whatever we have discussed so far. So in this specific lecture, we discussed about different types of innovation, we discussed about various models of innovation, and we discussed about the chronological development of these models of innovation. In the various models of innovation, we discussed about the linear and non-linear. In linear, we discussed about the market pull and the technology push. In non-linear, we discussed about simultaneous coupling model as well as interactive model. Then we discussed the difference between the simultaneous coupling and interactive model. Then at last, we discussed about how these models came into existence. This was the chronological development of the models of innovation. Thank you for your engaged participation today. Now you have started understanding innovation and its significance in relation to the startups. Thank you, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you next time. Take good care of yourself. Thank you.